Welcome to How to Walk the Earth with Wisdom. Today, we're just going to look at some articles about something kind of random, but how to fly a plane. I thought it would be cool because I've sort of wanted to fly a plane before, but also I know that someone out there might be interested in learning how to actually get a pilot's license. And so we'll just look at this article and, kind of see some cool facts about it. Okay, so the first thing it says to how to fly an airplane is if you're looking to fly a plane legally or safely, you'll need to sign up through training through your local pilot's license office. But if you're curious about a pilot, how safe it is to fly a plane, but if you're curious about what a pilot does to safely fly a plane and you're embarking on flying lessons yourself, this overview of the process can provide some insights. It's not a simple task, and a full airplane manual comprises hundreds of pages. So the first step is learning the controls. Control surfaces, fuel tanks of oil, fuel contaminants, balance sheets, body damage, emergency supplies. So those are all the checklists you would need to go over when looking at your plane. So perform an inspection on the aircraft before getting in. So if you're at at a plane and are looking to fly it, sort of like in some movie where you need to fly a plane for some emergency. Thinking of the context of when I would use this, but or anyone out there. But anyway, before taking off, it's important to perform a walk-around examination called a pre-flight. This is a visual inspection of the aircraft to verify that the airplane components are in good working order. Check control surfaces. Remove any control locks and make sure your ailerons, flaps, and rudder are moving freely and smoothly. Visually check your fuel tanks and oil. Check for fuel contaminants. Fill out a weight and balance sheet. Look for nicks, dings, and any other type of body damage. Check emergency supplies. So if you're flying a plane, you're gonna have to go through that whole checklist, make sure you have emergencies in place. And of course, if I were to fly a plane and have the money to buy a whole plane myself, I would definitely make sure there are parachutes in the plane. That's totally a classic. I think the aircrafts, whoever's in charge of, I think it's the FDA, but I think they should give every passenger a parachute on the plane, on commercial airlines, because they have a lot of money. Apparently the commercial airlines have a lot of money, and I think that would be just such a huge upgrade to give every passenger that peace of mind to have a parachute with them under their seat, just in case. Because it sort of makes sense. It seems like it would be common sense. But anyway, I hope that wasn't offensive, but just, if you're in the air, how are you gonna get off the plane fast? So I think flying a plane is fairly safe, so I think that's why they possibly do that. But anyway, locate the flight control in the cockpit. When you take your seat in the cockpit, all of the systems and gauges will look complicated, but they'll look much more simpler once you become familiar with what they do. In front of you will be the flight control that looks like a modified steering wheel. I've seen this in a lot of games. They have a cool flight simulator, and in this article they show a picture of a plane steering wheel. Okay, the next thing is locate the throttle and fuel mixture controls. They are usually located between the two seats in the cockpit. The throttle is black and the mixture knob is red. In general, aviation, they are usually just push and pull knobs. Okay, familiarize yourself with the flight instruments. So airspeed indicator, artificial horizon, the altimeter, turn and bank indicator, heading indicator, vertical speed indicator. So yeah, one of the things in an airplane, every time I get on an airplane and get a glimpse of the controls, it looks super complicated. And shout out Jeff Bethke. I've heard him say, like, you know, he's felt safe when our pilot, Jesus, you know, is in control, and he sort of relates flying in a plane to flying with Jesus, or letting him lead our life. And so maybe that's helpful to anyone out there, helpful to me, but okay. So familiarize yourself with the instruments. On most aircraft, there are 6 primary flight instruments located along 2 horizon rows. These indicators are often referred to as the 6-pack and show, among other things, altitude and attitude, orientation of the aircraft relative to Earth's horizon, compass heading and speed, both forward and up or down, and the rate of climb. Okay, so we'll skip over that, but locate the landing gear controls. Many small planes have fixed gear, in which case you will not have a landing gear control knob. For airplanes that do have a landing gear control, the location varies, but it usually has a white rubber handle. You will be using this after you take off and before you land and taxi the plane. Yeah, so it's showing, this article shows a picture of the lock release button, the corner, kind of the horn, just different buttons that are related. Okay, and then this one's cool. Place your feet on the rudder pedals. So these are a set of pedals at your feet used to control the rudder, which is attached to the vertical stabilizer. Yeah, so I've seen this. This is pretty cool. Controlling the plane and how balanced it is, you use your feet, that's pretty cool. When you want to make minor adjustments to go left or right of the vertical axis, use the rudder pedals. Basically, the rudder controls the yawing aspect of turning the aircraft. Turning on the ground is also controlled by the rudder pedals and or the brakes. So yeah, get permission to take off. If you are at a controlled airport, you must contact ground control before taxiing. They will give you further information as well as transponder code, commonly called a squawk code. Be sure to write this down as the information must be repeated to ground control. Yeah, okay, I don't know about that, but that's pretty interesting. Okay, adjust the flaps to the proper angle for takeoff. Usually 10 degrees of flaps are used to help increase lift. Okay, perform an aircraft run-up procedure. Before you reach the runway, stop at the run-up area. You'll have to perform the engine run-up procedure here. This helps ensure that your aircraft is ready to fly safely. Notify the tower that you're ready to take off. After completing a successful run-up, notify the tower and wait to be cleared to continue to and/or enter the runway. Okay, so start the takeoff run. Push the fuel mixture knob completely in and advance the throttle slowly. This will increase the engine RPMs, revolutions per minute, generating thrust, and the aircraft will start to move. Okay, get up to speed. Pull back on the yoke at this point. So this will cause the whole airplane to leave the runway and rise into the air. Yeah, the word yoke here, it reminds me of Jesus saying that his burden is easy and his yoke is light. So, running with Jesus, it's gonna be good, Okay, so line up the artificial horizon and attitude indicator. This will keep the plane level. Yeah, so obviously we can't relate everything to faith. There are actual planes, just in case anyone's like, why do you keep relating this to Jesus? But anyway, let's see. Bank, turn the plane. If you have a wheel in front of you, turn it. If it's a stick, move it to the left or right to turn. Yeah, that seems pretty, self-explanatory. Like, it's just explaining how to turn the aircraft. Okay, I'll just go power through the rest of this article because this article is kind of long. So, manage the speed of the airplane. Fly with the light touch on the controls. Set the cruising engine speed. Get clearance to land using the communication radio. Reduce the airspeed. Get the right angle of descent and airspeed. Lower the nose and watch the numbers on the runway. Reduce the throttle to idle. Come to a stop. Once the nose wheel has touched down, you can apply brakes to slow for exiting the runway. Exit as soon as possible on the off-ramp specified by the tower. Never stop on a runway. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this article. And that's pretty interesting. I don't know if we'll ever have to use this information to actually fly a plane, but I know of some people that have really been interested in flying a plane, and so yeah, I hope this video was helpful or just fun to watch or listen. And thank you so much for watching How to Walk the Earth with Wisdom. I will see you next time. See ya!